All right, this is a lecture on just stock options and, in particular, call options. It's to prepare you conceptually for what's going on with stock option compensation, and we're going to look at some real world data as well. So, let's first just generally talk about what options are and some terminology. So, there are call options, and these are the ones we're going to focus on. And there are put options. I think I'm going to go with a little, see if I find a thicker, medium thin pen. Okay, so you have what's called the buyer of the option and the seller, also called the writer of the option. Let me just get this put option thing out of the way. We're not really going to talk much about it, but everything you're hearing about applies. It's just um, it's a right to sell instead of buy. So call option gives the buyer of the option the right, not the obligation, to purchase an asset. Some could be a number of things, but to purchase, we'll just call it an asset on or before a set date. Oh, at an agreed upon price. Okay, so then the seller has the obligation of the option, has the obligation to sell the asset on or before. Well, that's not true. To sell the obligation when the call buyer demands. So, okay. So, options are investments, and we buy and sell options, but an option is a derivative, and a derivative derives its value from an underlying instrument. Okay? I'm just calling it an asset now. What we're particularly going to be concerned about are to purchase shares of stock. Okay? Shares of stock. All right? So that's a call option is a right to buy. The put option is a right to sell. So with respect to the risk, the buyer of a call option is long the stock. They want the stock to go up because they have this agreed upon price. So the exercise price, oops, the exercise price, you might hear the term, you will hear the term strike price, is the call's contractual price. So it's the price at which it's the agreed upon price, the price at which they agree to transact under the terms of the contract. All right, and then there's an expiration date, also sometimes called expiry. All right, so that's what a call option is all about. Now the seller, if the stock keeps going up, they keep losing money. All right, and in fact, what happens is these contracts don't end up in somebody selling and somebody buying the stock. So let's say you have, and let's go out on Yahoo here. All right. Let's go out on Yahoo and look up Apple. You're going to go out here and find these prices, but oh, let's see. I don't get a closing price. Seriously, because it's late. Um, so they set everything to zero. Everybody zero? You can't do this to me. That's weird. Why is Apple? Well, I'm going to go to my favorite. Sorry, Christine. Coca-Cola. All right, we got a price for Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola is trading at 41. So let's say you the call option says something like this: the buyer has the right to buy 100 shares of KO Coca-Cola at $45 per share before December 15, 2015. Okay? And let's say the call option itself is about $4. Currently, the stock is trading at 41. Um, so let's say two scenarios. Scenario one, Coca-Cola is $43 per share on 12/15/15. And scenario two, KO is $48 per share on 12/15/15. So you haven't exercised your option, and it's the last day, and you go to check the price. Coca-Cola is 43. What do? Do nothing. The If you're the buyer, so let's say you're the buyer, you can go out on the market and buy it for 43, or you can use your contract and buy it for 45. What are you going to do? You're going to buy it for 43. You would never exercise. So this expires worthless, and you lost $400, $4 per share. So this quote would be 4 times 100, $400 for one call exchange contract. This is an exchange traded contract. Okay, now it's 48. You could buy it for 45 and then sell it for 48 and make $3 a share. So what happens is they don't actually buy and sell. You will net settle. So the seller gives $3 times 100 shares, $300. All right. And let's see, you bought for 400 and you made back 300. So you have a minus 100. You have a loss, net loss. Okay. But you got some of your money back. All right. Now you can see that to break even, what you had to do was the stock had to be at 49, because then you would have made $4 per share. Okay? So that's the way these options work. You may be thinking, why do we do these options? It's really just another form of leverage. You get to see that if you take a financial engineering class. I encourage you to do it. Right now, we're just trying to understand the contract a little bit, which is the buyer has the right but not the obligation to buy the shares at the set price on or before the expiration date, and the seller must meet that demand. Okay, they don't have a just a right; they have an obligation to perform. So it's an asymmetric contract. So let me just kind of walk through this piece of paper thing you have. So, which probably says what I just did. So the call option buyer net profit is minus the premium, and then you take the share price minus the exercise price, this difference, times the shares underlying to get the net amount. And then the call writer or the call seller, they're going to have actually an opposite position. Okay. Um, Here's the exercise. You're going to choose a company, not Coca-Cola, and you're going to fill out this graph. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through, well, not right now in this video, in the next video, just as a way to facilitate you doing your assignment, I'm going to go ahead and do a company, which you won't be able to do for yours, and it'll walk you through it. Okay? So, look at the stock option second video, and you'll figure out how to do this assignment.